And we are live once again, back with week number 2 here of the Western Racing League Viking Construction Truck Series. My name is Chris Murphy here with DRSN. Thank you for being here tonight. Exciting race coming our way here at Echo Park, Atlanta. I always knew it as Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, they had to give it a new name, call it Echo Park, but that's all right. We're going to have an exciting race here for the evening. Last week we were at Daytona, and it was Jason Tamer coming home with a win last week. Jacob Thornton, Paul Boomershine with a fantastic run from the back of the pack at Daytona. And then it was Quentin Steinbach, Jason Raymond, Alex Romero, Michael Champlin, James Vining, Justin Krasinski, and Ryan Thompson coming home with a top 10 finish last week at Daytona. Week number 2, we're going to get going here on... Look at our schedule coming up. Now the schedule is going to show us St. Petersburg next week, but we know that's not right because St. Petersburg didn't get finished and it's not in the game yet. So they're going to use the road course at Daytona, so we'll go back to Daytona, but not for the Super Speedway. We'll use the road course next week. Darlington, Rockingham, Bristol are going to be our next 3 races. After that, then we go to Texas, Watkins Glen, Dover, and Charlotte. That's going to be our first few races here for the Craftsman Truck. Or excuse me, I did it again. I keep saying it all the time. The Viking Construction, the VCG Truck Series here for the Western Racing League. Viking Construction, one of our sponsors here up in Everett, Washington. If you're up in the Northwest, need some construction work, I should have called boys up at Viking Construction. Know some stuff I got going on, but they do some fantastic work. Corbin Matthews, country singer's got another new song coming out this Friday. Check him out. He's had a song last week. If you like some good country music, check out Corbin Matthews. We also picked up another sponsor this week with Admin Box joined on the team here with DRSN. And we've got a discount code for you. I didn't get a graphic put together for it in time. I've been kind of scrambling here tonight. But DRSN-BOXX is 10% off on your next time you visit Admin Box. So if you get a chance to check them out, please do. We'll get some graphics going up here for them pretty soon. But we've got about a minute here left to go in practice. We'll see if we can bring up our point standings after race number 1. As we said, it was Jason Tamer bringing home the win. We'll see how that shaked out for the point standings here. And of course, it's Jason Tamer leading the points, 55 points. Second, Jacob Thornton, Paul Boomershine, Quentin Steinbach. Pretty much just as I said a minute ago, as I finished at Daytona, Joshua Raymond there in 5th. Alex Romero, Michael Champlin, James Vining, Justin Krasinski, and I typed it wrong, so it's not Justin, it's Justin. Ryan Thompson, 10th right now in the point standings. And it's Victor Keith, who had a really great run at Daytona. Came short last week. Richard Modric, Landon Slagan, Andrew Bowman, David Sluter, Trader, Kyle Smits, and Justin Smolin is going to be our top 18 right now in the points. About 19 seconds left. Let's see a bunch of people out there in the YouTube chat. Thanks for being here. I see we got some Everett Larson fans out there tonight. Got some fans out there for Nate. I'm guessing that's Nathan Nixon. Last week we had some in-car cameras for you. We had a little glitch with that tonight. We weren't able to get that up and running, so we'll get that back together for next week. Next week we're going to be our first road course race. So Echo Park's going to run like a super speedway. It's going to be just like last week at Daytona. Who's your friend? Who's your enemies? Who can help you out here? Last week it was Tamer with the win, but let's see if... do I even see Jason here with us tonight? I don't... Oh, he is down here. I see him down here in 28th. We've got about 32 strong here tonight. Fantastic field of trucks. As we are now going to roll over to qualifying. About 5 minutes here in qualifying. We will get some graphics and stuff here for you. Once we get somebody out on the racetrack, we got 4.5 minutes to go. They've only got one lap or 2. I really should write all this stuff down. We'll take a look here while we're getting rolling. Take a look at our schedule coming up, and I need to update this as well. But tonight, here we are with the Viking Construction. Come back on Thursday night. Now, I think we're going to take Thursday night off for the... Let's just get that off there because it's not even accurate anymore. But... So we'll be back Thursday night. We're going to be here for the, this week is the Variety Pack Racing VPR 500. And that starts Thursday night with a little, kind of a qualifying race. Top 2 get themselves up on the wheel. Up on the spinning wheel of chance to get yourself into the race. But we'll do that. We're going to jump on here. Probably going to miss the first part of the race. We'll be here about 5 o'clock East, excuse me, about 8 o'clock Eastern on Thursday night for that. We're going to take off the cover. Nice new paint job there for Michael Sparks with the Moosehead beer. I like the chrome on that. The 42 looking really sharp out there. So first car's getting out on the racetrack, getting some laps in. Right now, nobody with a lap time in at the moment, so we're going to see how this shakes out. And right now, it is going to be Landon Slagan topping the charts at a 13.109. Josh Cagnon right there behind him at a 156. David Sluter comes across the line third. Here comes Brandon Cal's going to take that second spot away at a 32.150. Ties Gagnon. It must go down to the 100,000 somewhere. I'm not seeing on my timing and scoring. But Cal and Gagnon are going to be almost tied there for second. Slagan still at the top of the charts. Victor Keith, who started on the pole last week at Daytona, is now up to second. He's outside the front row at the moment. Let's see if he can hang on to that spot. Schmitz is going to move himself up into third. It could give you a look of somebody on the racetrack, I guess. That would be kind of nice of me, wouldn't it? If we get somebody making some laps. It's just cars going in and out all the time. They disappear as soon as they pull off in the pit. So there's 81 at Tamer. So Landon Slagan still on the pole. Victor Keith outside him. Kyle Schmitz right now in third. Brandon Cal, Josh Gagnon, and David Sluter right now your top six. Let's see. It looks like we got Tim Price out here finishing up his lap. He comes down home in 23rd right now. Here's Nick Trader in the 56. Nick had a good run going last week before some trouble. See what kind of lap he can put down out there. Everett Larson. I saw some Everett Larson fans in the chat earlier. Going to come home in third at the moment with a 32.131. Here comes Trader across the line. Can't do any better than fifth. Nick Trader in 32.134. Alex Mirror on the track as well. Rick Modric just finishing up his lap. So there's our top 20. Joshua Raymond going to try to get a lap in here. A little bit of time. What do we got? We got about a minute 43 left to go. He's got plenty of time to finish up his lap. So we'll keep an eye here on the 7 of Joshua Raymond, see where he can find himself up on the charts. That's just a couple drivers left. DeClain Beatty and J.D. Biddle also out there putting laps in right now. Looks like they're both getting their out laps going. Raymond on a hot lap's going to come across the line. Let's see where he ends up. And can't do any better than 27th at 32.45. Biddle's going to come home in 13th. Modric in 14th now. So we're looking at from first, if my math's correctly, from first, it's first, all the way down to 31st. So 31 cars separated by 0.5 of a second right now in qualifying, all the way down to Landon Slagan with a fast time at a 32.109. And I'm looking all the way down here at Joshua Wise. And he is going to be right now qualifying in 31st with a 32.63. Paul Boomershine, looks like Declan here. Is Declan trying to get a lap in? We'll see where he's on the racetrack. Doesn't look like he's out. Oh, he's going to make a lap. So the 27 of Declan Beatty out here trying to get his lap in, see if he can move up the chart. And it looks like he is going to come home in 26 at a 32.30. So only not even 0.2 of a second off the pole puts Beatty all the way down in the 26th spot. So I got to change my split there on the tower here because it's going over top of my other graphics. There we go. All right, thanks for being here. Second week of the Western Racing League Viking Construction Group Truck Series here at Echo Park. Qualifying wrapping up with about 3 seconds here left to go. Landon Slagan looks like he is going to take the top spot. All right, we got a couple minutes here to get gridded up. We will just take a quick peek at the qualifying order there, and we will bring you full results here as we get going. So once again, Landon Slagan at a 32.109. Victor Keith right there behind him in the second spot. Everett Larson, where's our Everett Larson fans out there? I see Lily Hines there in the YouTube chat cheering for Everett. I see Brandon Broadfoot in the chat here with us. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Brandon Broadfoot, the owner and operator of Variety Pack Racing, bringing us the VPR 500 on Saturday. If you're looking for a Daytona 500 race to run and you haven't had enough of them this season, check out Variety Pack Racing. We've got a couple spots left open. We're going to run a 43-car duels on Saturday morning. We'll be here about 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern on Saturday. Friday is all-day qualifying. Sorry, Brandon, we're not going to cover qualifying all day on Friday. But we will be here for the duels on Saturday morning. As we're getting gridded up here, it looks like just about everybody's made their way to the cars. We will start our rolling grid here. Make sure we get it on. We are 34 cars deep, as I see Ryan McClurg joined late. Joshua Wise as well. Paul Boomershine not going to make a pit. Not going to... did not get a qualifying time in. Didn't get a qualifying time in last week and found himself on the podium. Had a chance to win the race late. If he'd have held that bottom a little bit more off of 4. So Brandon in the chat, so 1 hour left to sign up for that VPR 500. So if any of these guys in this race wanted to be in it, they're not going to be able to be done in an hour, I don't think. So we'll get our grid going here. It's Landon Slagan on the pole, and the number 91, Victor Keith, right there on the outside. We'll go back to row number 2, starting in the 3rd spot. It's Everett Larson in the 01. Everett, if there was a crash to be had last week, Everett found his way into it, so I'm to see if he can do better here tonight. Kyle Smith's there, going to start in the 4th spot. Back to row number 3, it's Nick Trader and Brandon Cal. Row number 4 in the 7th starting spot, Josh Gagnon and Alex Romero. David Sluter and Jason Tamer, last week's winner at Daytona, going to start in 10th here today. Brady Zeller and Nathan Nixon. And Brady Zeller carrying the DRSN logo on the back of that truck. Good looking truck out there. He's done a really nice job with it. I think I might need to refresh some liveries here. JD Biddle in the 13th starting spot. Rick Modric going to be in start 14th. We'll get back to row number 8. Michael Sparks and Jacob Thornton. Trevor Fetchner and Daniel Sparks. And we're getting our liveries refreshed up here. Where are we at here on the racetrack? All right, we're going to go back here to see how far we can get through the lineup here. In the 23rd spot, Tyler Brewer and Randy Wood. Going to start outside run number 12 in the 13th row. It's going to be Stephen Bolton and Declan Beatty. Tim Price and Scotty Larson. Victor Viking Construction back there in the 28th spot. Joshua Raymond and Ian Menace. And we're going to go green here. We're going to roll off at turn number 4. It's going to be Landon Slagan if his paint job gets in there. There he is. The 91 comes in for us. Pace cars pulled in. We're going to go to the green flag here at Echo Park. It's Slagan and Keith bringing us to the line. We're 3 wide back here in the pack, but we're going to stay up here on the front. Slagan gets a good jump. Keith drops down behind him. We're side by side behind with Larson and Smits right there in the 3rd and 4th spot. Side by side, 2 by 2, all the way back to the pack, 3 wide for about 9th or 10th, but it's still Landon Slagan out in front. Victor Keith kind of putting a little bit of separation back to them, so we'll take a look back here for some. See if we can get some side by side battle back here. Larson now's cleared. That's the 82 there on the outside. Trader coming alongside of Cal as well. So the 82 of Kyle Smith's there. Spare Parts Gaming up on the outside right now, running in the 4th spot. So we're going to come around for lap number 2. 2 laps completing this race. It's the 91 of Slagan. Started on the pole this race. He has led so far from the green flag. Victor Keith. Get back here to the middle of the pack. We're going to take a look here at the number 38 of Nathan Nixon down here in the 11th spot. Right behind him, Rick Modric in the 71. And look at Tamer up on the outside. Tamer's trying to get himself to the front. See if he can get a 2nd win in a row. Winning last week. He's trying to get back up here. We've got 100 laps left to go, so we've got a long time to do it. And once again, that really sharp-looking number 42 of Michael Sparks. But back up to the front. We're now side by side for 2nd. Larson looks up underneath Keith. He's going to take the 2nd spot away. Keith's going to fall back a little bit here. That outside line starting to fall back. The inside line coming dominant. Trader down to the bottom of the racetrack. But Larson going to look to the outside of Slagan. He wants to lead this race. He has a little bit of help from the 48 of Keith. Keith sneaking up on his back bumper. That bottom looks a little bit stronger with Slagan and Trader. Trader going to go to Slagan and push down the front back straightaway into turn number 3. Back to the point, but here comes Larson and Keith up on the outside. We're 2 by 2 here at Echo Park. Coming across the line to complete lap number 5. 95 laps left to go when we come to the stripe. We'll look back through the pack a little bit. Here's Randy Wood back here in the number 16. That Paul Boomershine right there behind him. Paul finished 3rd last week. He's got a long way to go if he wants to get back on the podium here. Looking for our biggest mover. Our biggest mover of the race right now is the 27 of Declan Beatty. Already up 9 spots. Started back in 26, up to 17th. Well, somebody get a little bit of loose off the corner. We kind of missed who that was. But we are still side by side for the lead. Slagan and Larson, Trader, Keith. Then it's a 79 at Gagnon right there, back there on the inside. Oh, a little bit loose there for Trader. He comes up trying to give Larson, or excuse me, try to give Slagan a little bit of a shove. Good bump from Trader as they head off of turn number 4 down the front straight. He's going to push Slagan back to lead across the stripe. Everett Larson wants to lead this race. He had a good fast truck at Daytona last week, but unfortunate incident kept Everett from getting up to having the finish he really wanted to have. So Slagan, Trader, and look at the 79 at Gagnon. Started back in 7th, now up to 3rd. Bottom of the racetrack seems to be, oh, Trader gonna look to the inside, gets a little bit loose off the corner. Saves the truck, starts to look underneath of the 91 of Slagnan, but gets it collected. We take a look back here to the 96 of Biddle up a couple of spots up to the left. Oh, who was that? That was the 12 of Fechner. Makes an evasive move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Lucky there was a hole there for him. So it's still Slagan, Gagnon, Trader, Sluter. I'll get my names all crossed up here in a minute if I do that again. So we're going to keep looking down through the field. Looks like the 7 of Raymond struggling just a little bit. Saw somebody down at the bottom of the racetrack. I'm not quite sure who that was. It looked like that might have been the 13 of Larson. Or it might have been the 40 of Brewer. It was. It's Tyler Brewer, one of our Western Racing League admins here. One of the owners, Tyler Brewer, with a little bit of trouble. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. He is about to lose the draft. He has lost that second group anyway. We're about 23 cars strong in this lead draft right now. 10 laps into this race. 90 left to go. It is Slagan. Slagan's led most of this laps. I think he's led every single lap. So he's led all 10 laps so far. And you can already see back to that second group back there led by the 00 of Stephen Bolt. And they're trying to get single filed up. They're just not quite organized enough to really make a charge at that front group. We saw this last week at Daytona. When these groups get separated like this, if they can't get bumper to bumper, get teamed up to help each other out, they just aren't going to have much of a chance. You can see the 7th kind of looking to the outside of the 00. But back up to the front, it is Landon Slagan, Nick Trader, David Sluter. Then we're side by side. Oh, somebody hard into the outside wall. I'm not quite sure who that was. Just kind of caught it off to the right-hand side of the screen there. So it looks like Bolton's got some cheering section in the YouTube chat. Go 00. We jump back here to the 27 of Beatty again. Now up 15 positions. All the way up to 15th right now after starting 26. I'm trying to keep an eye on Paul Boomershine as well. So Paul has decided not to qualify in these super speedway races, and he is way at the back of this second group in the 92. It worked out for him last week. Is they going to work out for him again? That strategy of not qualifying and starting in the back. We had him in the interview booth after the race, and he said that's a strategy he wants to play on these super speedway races. So we'll see how that works out for Paul tonight. We head down into turn number 1. It is still Slagan, Trader, Sluter. '91 looking really strong. Trader looks like he wants to lead the race. It takes a peek to the outside. Looks like he's maybe just peeking his nose out there to cool the truck down just a little bit. Thanks for being here with us. If you haven't been here before, hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. We're building this channel up. Really happy you're here with us. We're just thrilled to be a part of the Western Racing League's Truck Series. We covered their Cup race last week. I think we're going to take a break from the Cup Series until they get regrouped on the season. But we will be here every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern for this Viking Construction Truck Series. Brought to you by Western Racing League. And so far, we've seen some fantastic racing. 3 wide right there for about 9th on 10th. It looks like the 11 there on the outside of Alex Romero. We've got a caution. It looks like it might be Price involved in it. I see the 20 of Price involved in it. Also the 44 of Wedding King. We'll see if we can see what happened here as we have our first caution on lap number 15 here at Echo Park. So we'll take a quick peek at it. So we can see the 44. I think the 44 is just going to get right into the back of the 28, and he sure does. He gets in there, catches that left rear quarter, goes up, and is going to collect a couple other drivers. See the 28 involved. I see the 44 involved. We'll see if we take another look from that from the maybe the chase cam here. Looks like I see Ryan McClurg also involved in a 16. So we're going to take a look here at the chase cam. And it looks like, you know, Wedding King had a run on the bottom of the racetrack. And I don't think Price really saw him. Started to come down, caught that nose. And you can see the 00 Bolton involved in it. So our first incident here at... thank you for the sub out there. So Price involved in this race. McClurg also involved, the 44 involved. We've got a wholesale bunch of pit stops going on right now. As we can see, our leader is Gagnon. Gagnon's going to be our leader. He's going to stay out there on the racetrack. Larson coming into pit in the 01. Slagnick also pitted in the 91. So we've got about 12 trucks that look like they stayed out on the racetrack. Everybody else came into the pits. Tyler Brewer also going to stay on the racetrack, try to make up some ground after he lost the lead draft there early on in this race. So we're going to take just a quick second here, just give you just a little bit of commercial, a little side-by-side, but we're going to keep an eye on things. We'll be back in just a minute. All right, we're back to live. Thanks for having the box, for jumping on board with us at DRSN. If you're looking for some, that's pretty cool little control boxes and stuff they built over there. Racers building, the fellow racers putting that together for. If you need them, it's really great to have for if you're in a race. I use this, something similar to it, but I've ordered my first admin box. Can't wait for it to get here. If you're looking for something, use the code DRSN-box BOXX for 10% off your order. Give them a look over there at Admin Box. Really happy they jumped on board with us this week. But we're going to go back to green here. We roll down the back straightaway. It is Gagnon, Nixon, Biddle. So JD Biddle made his way up into third right now. So all these trucks have not pitted. So our top 10, all the way back to Trevor Fechner here, have all not pitted. Our first trucks that have come in for the... Actually, it's Thornton that also has not pitted in the 41. So there's our leader before the pit stop. Before the yellow came out, it was Slagan in the 91. He's pitted. Larson's pitted. Trader, everybody else on back has come in for a pit stop. So we'll see if Slagan can make his way back up to the front of the pack. Gonna roll off of turn number 4. We're gonna go back to green here one more time. It's gonna be Josh Gagnon and Nathan Nixon bringing us to the flag. And the 79 gets a good jump. Here comes Nixon back on the outside. Looks like the 38 is going to tuck in behind him going into turn number 1. He's going to do, and we've got a crash in the back. Maybe not. We're going to have to change some settings on that because I did that last week at Daytona too. So, but it's going to be the 79 at Gagnon and Nixon It looks like JD Biddle in the 96 up on the outside of Rick Modric. He's going to make his way up there, but he's got really not a lot of help. Tamer's right there, but not really close enough. We're 3 wide. A little further back, it looks like Everett Larson in the middle. That didn't work out so well for Everett last week. Hopefully he can get cycled in here. He's going to find a spot down in the bottom. It looks like he's behind the 56 of Trader. No, he's going to stay in the middle. Oh, sneaks in front of the 95 of Sluter. Larson able to find a spot back down there. He was really uncomfortable in the middle. You can see the truck dancing around, but he found a way to get back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Gagnon, Nixon, Modric, Romero now finds his way up in the top. And here's Declan Beatty. He's 27 on the timing chart, but 33 on the truck. He's on the outside of the 11 of Romero. So Beatty started way back in this field. He's definitely our biggest mover right now. Already up 21 spots for Declan Beatty. He's got that 33 truck really working. But watch that 96 truck of Biddle right there behind him. Look back up towards the front. It is Josh Gagnon and Nixon kind of single filed out here for the top 3 or 4 spots. You get back a little farther here. We're side by side. Larson trying to find, oh, he's got the 10 truck right there behind him. I don't even have a 10 truck on my leaderboard, so I'm not sure who that is. But here we look at the 82 of Kyle Smits. Kyle Spare Parts Gaming trying to make his way up to the front. Daniel Sparks down on the bottom in the 04, trying to give him a little bit of run. We're 3 wide up here, a little bit further up to the front is Nick Trader down on the bottom of the racetrack in the 56, right behind the 91 of Slagan. And Larson has actually cleared himself away from this group, so Larson right now is the furthest to the front driver that pitted here on that last caution flag. And it looks like they pitted maybe for 2 tires. They weren't in very long. It might have been a splash only. There's only 6 or 7 seconds for that group of trucks that pitted, so we'll see how that plays out here. So the 91 back up on the outside of the racetrack. You can see, excuse me, down on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got Biddle now, the 96, so some of these drivers that pitted starting to make their way back towards the front. 71 of Rick Modric here up into third. The OGRL sponsored, or excuse me, team driver in the 71 is now running in the 3rd spot. He's got the 11 of Romero tucked up behind him. And we've got about 19 cars in this lead draft, and then it's back to the second group led by Joshua Wise. And we can see here once again this second group just not getting lined up here. We'll see if anybody can get organized with this group and see if they have a chance to catch that lead pack, but I think as long as they stay like that, they're not going to catch this top group. So back up to the front, it's the 79, the GZ Racing, number 79 of Josh Gagnon, currently leading this race. He's led the race since we went back to green flag. So second race of the season here for the Western Racing League here at Echo Park. Next week we come back and go to the road course at Daytona. We're just going back and forth from Daytona to Atlanta and then back down to Daytona next week. So nice short trip for the teams and the haulers there. So a good shot of Biddle with Declan Beatty up on the outside. Thornton right there behind. Larson going to look to the bottom. Can he make it 3 wide under Biddle? No, he's going to tuck in behind him. I thought Larson was going to take a look to the bottom of the racetrack to see if he could make it 3 wide under the 96 of Biddle, but ends up thinking the better of it. Tucks in behind him right there. Declan way up on the outside of the racetrack. Right behind the 33 of Beatty is the 41 of Thornton. We're going to take a little ride here on board with Larson. I guess we'll have to go to the hood cam. So Larson in the 01, he's got JD Biddle right there in front of him. You can just see just how much these trucks are dancing around on the racetrack. And just how hard it is to keep it in line. So we take a look here. With Everett Larson up to Biddle. Thornton up on the outside. He's got the 7 of Raymond now trying to get around. And it looks like the 82 of Smith's also with him. And we're 3 wide. Looks like Trevor Fetcher in the 12 kind of got stuck in the middle of the racetrack. He's going to try to get down to the bottom. He's able to get down in front of Larson, finds a hole. Tucks himself in front of Larson behind the 96 of Biddle. So here comes Fetchner now. And it looks like... See, Smith's now falling back here. Something happened to... It looks like Kyle must have got into the outside wall. That right front looks towed in. Yeah, he has got all kinds of problem with the front end geometry of that truck. So Kyle Smith had a really good run going. We'll see if we can see what happened. We're staying green. So Kyle down here, kind of about in the middle of the racetrack. We'll see what happens to him. He comes off the corner, the 3 wide in front of him. Comes off at turn number 2. Oh, it's the 41 at Thornton. Gets into the wall, slows down. Smith tries to avoid him, checks up and gets collected from behind. So unfortunate there for Kyle. Smith's had a good run going, but had a tough week at Daytona last week. And it looks like he's going to have the same luck here today at Echo Park. So unfortunate for Kyle as he makes his way into the pits. But it's still the 79 up front. They did not, this group up here did not pit early. Or earlier, I should say. But it's Gagnon, Nixon, Modric, Slagan. So Slagan, the 91, who led quite a bit of this race early on, is now made his way back up into 4th. So he is charging back to the front. Started on the pole this race. Led the first 15 laps or so before we went to caution. And he now gets a look underneath the 71 of Modric as Modric pushes up the racetrack, gives him a nice big hole on the bottom. That is going to let Slagan back up into the top 3. Here comes Tamer. Last week's winner at Daytona. He's got a good run. He's going to look up underneath Slagan. Slagan sees him coming, moves up the racetrack just enough to give Tamer the bottom. So here comes the 81, and right behind them is the 01 of Larson. So Larson also trying to make his way back to the front. So our trucks that were leading this race earlier now finding their way back to the front of the pack after pitting back on lap number 16. And we've got a second caution. It looks like it might be Michael Sparks and Braden Cal involved. We see the 42 rolling down off the banking. Heavy damage on the front of the truck. See if we can find Cal here. Cal still spinning around in the 85. Also heavy damage there on the front of the 85. We're going to go take a look here real quick. So we see Sparks on the bottom of the racetrack, Cal up on the outside. We see the 18 of Zeller right there in front of him with the DRSN logo on the quarter panel. And it looks like that 28, let's see, 28 got a little bit loose there in front of him. It looks like the 13's coming down. And Sparks just kind of moves up the racetrack into the 85. It looks like we'll get a different angle of that. See if we get an angle of that from Brandon Cal's view. So here's looking from Brandon Cal. He's at the back of Scotty Larson right now. You can see the 42 down on the bottom of the racetrack. Sparks. And Sparks just comes up the racetrack in front of the 85 of Cal. Good big ride right there. So unfortunate. It looks like from that vantage point, it looks like Sparks was just kind of not aware that Cal was there. Come up the racetrack and just caught the left front fender there and turned himself around, but also collected the 85. So unfortunate for those drivers there. But we're gonna have wholesale pit stops, the whole field coming in on pit road. Crew's gonna get busy here on lap number 34 of 100. So 66 laps left to go. So our second caution flag, first caution flew back on about lap 15. Second here on lap number 34. So we're gonna see who comes out of here with the lead. Like Slagan and Larson. Okay, so here comes the 79s. It looks like he's going to beat everybody off of pit road. So Gagnon going to come out with the lead. The 38 of Nixon right there behind him. Tamer, like Slagan, Larson, Modric, Raymond, Schmitz, Romero, Beatty, Biddle. Looks like it's going to be our top 10 or 11 cars as we come out of our second round of pit stops here. Let's take a look at our pit stats here. Looks like most of the field taking 4 tires. Joshua Smith, the only driver, taking 2. out of our top 15 drivers. And it looks like Tim Price down there, fuel only on that stop. We'll see how that works out for him. Maybe he took some tires on that first round of stops. Lap leader so far, Josh Gagnon with 19. Landon Slagan led 16 laps after starting on the pole. Let's take a look at our wrench wrangler. So Victor Keith, unfortunately, spent the most time in the pits for repairs, about a minute. I think Kyle Smits is out of this race. Ryan McClure also out of this race. Victor Keith. Victor's still out here making laps. We got 32 cars. We started with 34. We're down to 32. Lights are out on the pace car. Well, that didn't work very good, did it? We'll get back to here. So look back from our leader right here, Gagnon. He looks back at the 81 at Tamer. Tamer started back in 10th, up to 3rd right now. Nixon, our second place running truck, started back in 12th, and he's up to 2nd. Come off of turn number 2, going to roll down the back straightaway here. We're going to go green, come across the stripe. We'll be 36 laps completing this race. Big thanks for being here with us. My name is Chris Murphy with DRSN Digital Racing Sports Network. Just happy to be here with you. Just ecstatic is probably the best word to describe it. Yeah, we're just really happy to be a part of this Western Racing League. Just a really great group of guys, put on a great show. Every race we've covered with them. The folks over at Viking Construction Group, also another sponsor, and this is Nexus Designs. If you need a good paint job for your iRacing rig, reach out to Nexus Designs. You'll find them on Facebook. Scott's Nuts Flavored Pistachios, my good buddy Scott. I used to work with him. He retired and went into the business of making flavored pistachios. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, find Scott's Nuts. Go to scottsnuts.com. All right, we're going to go back to green here one more time. It's going to be Gagnon. Nixon bringing us to the line. Gagnon did not get quite as good of a jump this time. Nixon staying with him, but he is going to clear him. Nixon's going to jump down to the bottom of the racetrack. As we head down into one, we're already single filed out for about 5 cars deep, and it's going to be Gagnon, Nixon, Slagan, Tamer, and Larson. So Larson kind of falling back into the grasp of the 7 of Raymond. Didn't get quite a good of a jump, but our top 4 here all seem to be working pretty well together. So Gagnon, the GZ Racing. Nixon still looking for a team. Nixon gave us an in-car view last week. We kind of had a little bit of a bug with those in-car cameras this week. Weren't able to get them running, but we'll have them back up next week for the race at the Daytona Road Course. Take a look here at the 71 of Rick Modric. Rick's having a pretty good run here. Beatty right there in front of him. So Beatty's still our biggest mover, up 18. Actually, Raymond in the 7, up 23 spots in this race. And you can see right there behind him that Romero's just dancing all over the racetrack. I saw somebody down on the infield, on the apron of the racetrack. I think that might have been Schmitz in the 29. The second team member of the spare parts game, and unfortunately Kyle, his teammate, out of this race now at this point after getting involved in an earlier accident that did not bring out a caution, remarkably enough. So keep an eye on one truck we'll be keeping an eye on in this 92 of Paul Boomershine. VG Motorsports number 92. Started basically dead last on the field back in 33rd. And this is an intentional strategy for Paul. Can he make his way back up to the front? So far, not able to get near as far forward as he'd like to get. We're kind of single filed out here in the front now. We were 2x2 quite a bit during that first stint. But it looks like now we're going to be single file all the way about the first 9 or 10 cars here. Actually, even farther back, all the way back to the Biddle. Biddle now going to look to the outside of the 71. He wants to move up a little bit closer. Biddle not one to hold back. If he can have a run, he's going to do it. And you can see him along the 71 of Modric, but just kind of stalls out there. And now he's going to get passed by the 29 of Schmitz. He's got the 12 car right there behind him of Fechner. Fechner can get up on the back bumper, give him a little bit of a push here. Maybe they can make that outside line work. A little bit of shuffling around going on up in the front. Tamer in fourth. Larson right there behind him with 7 of Raymond in the 6th spot right now. But up front, it is all Josh Gagnon. He's led this race ever since we went back to green, way back on lap 17. Through the second round of pit stops, second caution flag and pit stops we had, he came back out in front. So Gagnon looking really strong here after starting the 7th spot. But Nixon all over his back of his truck right now. We jump on board with the 38 truck of Nixon. And Nixon's just not able to suck up to the back of the 79 off the corner here. Gets a little bit of a run. He's actually gonna get a little run here off of 2. Come up, give him a little bit of a push. A little bit of a bump there from the 38. Let's see if that helps him get away from the rest of the group. The 91 still right there with him. So, and we're 2 by 2 back here. Still Biddle stuck up on the outside. Not able to find a hole to get into. I think he's going to try to slide down behind the 71. But Modric just not clearing him. That outside line just not able to get organized up enough. But here comes the 33. Beatty's going to jump up here, see if he can get... Oh, the 11 tries to go up and block a little bit late right there. Unfortunately, that made the 33 check up. Oh, he's going to get into Biddle right there. Biddle in the middle of the racetrack. The 33 gets a little bit loose, trying to chase the truck down. A little bit of contact with Biddle. Now Biddle in the middle of the racetrack. Beatty stuck up there all by himself. That middle line trying to push forward. Here comes the 12 of Fetchner. Trying to push Beatty up here. And it looks like... Not sure who that was on the outside. Looks like the 2 truck of Wise. Trying to get up there to give Beatty a little bit of a help. But he's actually going to move down to the bottom of... Or excuse me, right there in the middle of the racetrack now. Join that couple trucks in the middle. But Beatty doing a pretty good job up there by himself, and Biddle actually snuck away from the 12 car. Boomershine, look, here comes Paul Boomershine out of nowhere, all the way up here to 13th. He is going to try to team up here with JD Biddle on the outside of the racetrack, see if they can find their way to the front of this pack. The 92 started 33rd in this race, all the way up to 12th right now. The strategy of kind of starting in the back paid off last week, because they're going to do it again here as Paul Boomershine's now trying to catch up to the 96 of Biddle. The 12 truck now sneaking up on there. It looks like that outside line by getting a little bit more organized as they dip down, try to get a little side draft off the 56 of Trader. Take a look back up here at the front. It's Gagnon, Nixon, Slagan, Tamer, Larson. So Larson having a much better run this week in the 01. Can he stay here? So JD Biddle in the 96 still trying to make that outside work. He has been out on the outside of the racetrack for probably about the last 10 to 15 laps, as we are 2 laps away from halfway. Going to come across the stripe to start lap number 48, 47 down. And it's getting a little spicier up towards the front. Look, there goes Slagan down to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants second. Nixon gets a little bit loose. Tamer now in the middle of the racetrack. We're 3 wide for third. Larson on the bottom, Tamer in the middle, Nixon up on the outside of the racetrack. It's Gagnon, Slagan, 1, 2, and then it's Larson and Tamer now for second, as Raymond has kind of dropped back out of this battle. Nixon also falling back there on the outside, so Nixon got stuck up on the outside of the racetrack, and he is falling back. He's getting passed here by Biddle and Boomershine. So our early race leader and our pole sitter, Landon Slagan, got himself back up to second. He's got the 01 of Larson right there behind him. So Slagan, the Vortex Sim team, has got Larson right there behind him. So no teammates around each other here. Just trying to make some friends out here on the racetrack at Echo Park. Jason Tamer trying to get his way back up there. He's got that outside line. We got Tamer, Raymond, Biddle. And it looks like the 92 of Boomershine, that outside line is just not able to get enough momentum. Let's see what they can do off of 2 here. This Tamer's outside of the 56 of Trader right now. The 7 of Raymond. And the 96 of Biddle. They're starting to get that outside line organized a little bit. They've got to get a little closer to each other. Just not organized enough to make that outside line work near as well as it should. I think you can make that line work if they can just get nose to tail. We're going to jump on board here with the 56 of Trader. So Trader down here on the bottom of the racetrack. That looks like the 11 of Romero right there in front of me. You can see Tamer up on the outside. JD Biddle from JK Racing here. He's right behind the 7 of Raymond, trying to give him a little bit of a push. Backs off, gives him some room. Modric pushes up the racetrack, just about gets into the side of Biddle right there, but able to hold it down. With Gagnon, Slagan, Larson, Romero still your top 4. Trader and Tamer side by side for that 5th spot. Slagan moves up the racetrack just a little bit. Larson took a little bit of a look to the inside, but has to fall back in line. So we started with 33. Actually, we started with 34. I think we're down to 32. And Kyle Smith has made his way back out on the racetrack, but he has lost about 12 laps at this point. But look at this. Slagan moves down to the bottom of the 79. If Gagnon moved up to the outside, he saw that outside line coming. Jumped up there, out there with him, and actually killed the momentum. Tamer now goes up to the outside. That puts a 7 of Raymond in the middle of the racetrack. Gagnon back to the point. So Gagnon with a good run there by himself, but I think that 91 and the 01 teamed up together is going to go by him here in a second. So Tamer was the misfortunate one in that one, as he is now falling back. He brought that outside line up there, and now is paying for it as he's now falling all the way back to 12th and still stuck up there by himself. He just keeps falling backwards. He looks like he might have found a spot here. If he can get down in the front of the 2 of Wise, he's just going to do just that. So Tamer was bringing that outside line to the front, but he has now fallen all the way back to 13th. So Slagan, Larson, Gagnon now up on the outside. Raymond, that 7 truck up on the outside behind Gagnon, trying to give him up, trying to get better organized once again. That outside line was working until Gagnon jumped up there in front of him and kind of killed that momentum, but he is now trying to get back there. Larson going to look to the outside. He wants to lead this race. He has got some help from the 79. Larson looking at us. Gagnon sees the middle open. He says, I'm not going to push you. I'm going to go to the middle of the racetrack. And I think that's going to cost him. But here comes Biddle. Biddle now is going to save the 79, give him a little enough of a shove right there that he's able to find a hole down at the bottom of the racetrack. But it is Everett Larson to the lead now. The 01 has found his way all the way to the front. We're side by side for second with Slagan and Raymond. Gagnon trying to get back up here. He's now into 3rd. Biddle in the 96 has been sniffing this front pack all about the last 15 or 20 laps or so. He has been committed to the outside of the racetrack, and right behind him is the 92 of Paul Boomershine, up 25 spots, and right behind Boomershine is the 81. And you can see some tire rub on that left door of the 81, so we had a little bit of contact there earlier. And we're gonna, looks like we're gonna have a pilot behind him. I see the 40 of Brewer involved, Thornton in the 41 involved. And we have got our 3rd caution flag. It looks like Nathan Nixon might have been involved as well. I just took my eyes off the screen for a moment, so we'll see what happened here with Nixon. So you can see the 38 down there on the bottom of the racetrack. I see the 33 kind of coming down towards him. We'll see what happened. The 18 of Zeller. Oh, it looks like contact with the 12 and the 33 started that. They collected Nixon. The 29 gets involved in it. I see the 16. He does a nice job of finding his way through there. But unfortunate for Wise, he collects the 33 of Beatty's. He's coming down the racetrack. We'll see if we can see what happened there. See if we can get a better angle of this. I think it started with a 27 and the 12. All right, so excuse me, the 33. So Beatty there on the outside. The 12 goes to look to the inside, and the 12 just drives right into the left rear quarter of the 33, turns him around. He gets down to the Nixon and the 38. The 29 gets involved here. The 2 of Wise. I think he thought he was going to miss it, but unfortunately he gets into the 2. So Nixon's spinning around. So it looks like I'm going to do one more replay here. We're going to take a look from the roof cam of the 12. If I can find it here once again. So here we are with Fetchner riding along with the 12, back of the pack motorsports driver. You can see the 33 kind of dancing around. The 12 looks down to the bottom of the racetrack. And he is just going to catch that left rear quarter. Turn the 33 across the nose, collects the 38 of Nixon. Head on right there with the 12 and the 38. And right in the driver's door. So I think that was just a little misjudgment there from the 12. He saw the 33 kind of move up. I think he thought he had a hole. But unfortunate, got into the left rear quarter. And we are cautioned one more time here at Echo Park. All right, so we've got a few drivers that dove down into the pits for the third pit stop, but it looks like Romero and maybe Biddle, so it looks like they all pitted. Looks like just about the whole field pitted back on here on lap number 60, but it's going to be the 11 of Romero coming out with a lead. Biddle in the 96. It's going to be in the second spot, the 91 of Slagan and Larson. So Larson and Slagan been up at the front of the pack all day long. They're going to restart here, third and fourth side by side. We're going to go side by side here behind the pace car. Lights are out. All right, it's going to be Alex Romero, J.D. Biddle, so our biggest mover of the race. So let's take a look at our lap leaders here real quick while we're moving around here on the slow pace lap. So 4 different leaders. Gagnon led 39, Slagan 18, Everett Larson got up to the front and led 4, and Romero now has led 1 lap. Take a look at our biggest gainers of the races. Paul Boomershine up 23 spots. Raymond also up 23 spots. Randy Wood in the 16. Up 16 spots. Biddle now up 12. Take a real quick look at our pit stop stats. Romero took 2 tires. Biddle 2 tires. Slagan and Gagnon both took 4. And Slagan as well. So, and Larson and Gagnon and Raymond all took 4 tires. All right. We're going to go green here, rolling through turn 3 and 4. By the way, if you use SDK software, you're used to this software that we're using for the overlays. If you're looking for some of these graphics like we have, reach out to my buddy Shane Cochran over on the SDK Discord. He puts together all these great graphics for us, all these great overlays and everything for us anyway. So check out Shane Cochran at Cochran Plugins. But hey, here we go. We're going to go back to green one more time. It's going to be Romero Biddle bringing us to the line. And Alex with a great jump in the 11. And Biddle must have spun the tires a little bit because he's falling back here. The 91 and the 01 going to go by him on the inside. So Landon Slagan and the 91's back up to second now. And we've got another caution. It looks like the 2 of Wise going around. I see that looks like the Scotty Larson involved. I see Beatty involved again. Steinbach, who ran really well last week, also involved. So cautions breed caution. I see Michael Sparks also involved. We'll take a quick look here. See what we can find. All right, so we'll take a look here at the 62. It looks like most of it started in the back here. It had to start in front of this somewhere. See Larson up here in the 13 truck. Let's see if we can find out where this started at. So Larson are on the outside. Who's that sneaking in the middle? It's going to be Wise. So Wise getting into the left rear quarter of Larson. The 28 going around. Larson here involved. Let's take a look back here. The 44 also involved. It looks like Kyle Smith's also involved. Go back and take a look one more time. All right, we'll take a look here one more time, see what we can find out. So it looks like it started with Larson. We'll get a little bit different angle here. Go to the chase cam here, the 13. Actually, we'll jump on here with the 2 of Wise because it looks like it was Wise as they dove down into turn number 1. Wise takes a look to the middle. He sees a little bit of a gap right here, so he takes a look to the inside of the 13. The 13 all the way up against the outside wall. The 2 in the middle of the racetrack, and they just come together right there. Kind of a combination of the 2. It looks like Larson might have moved down just a little bit in the Viking Construction number 13, and you can see Wise coming down and collecting. You see everybody sliding off to the back of the racetrack back here. But the 2 involved, the 33 involved, the 41, the 82 once again. Kyle Smith and the 82 spent a lot of time fixing that truck tonight. But he is involved again here one more time. So while we're getting grouped up, we're going to go back to live time here. We're going to take a quick little commercial. Just take another look at the admin box. Check it out if you're looking for some good equipment. Check out admin box. DRSN-BOXX is the discount code for a 10%. All right, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Echo Park for the Western Racing League Viking Construction. So we are under our 4th caution flag. This one brought out by contact with the 2 and the 13. And we are back to green. It is Alex Romero. We start single file start here after the caution before we complete the lap. So Romero, Slagan, Larson, and Gagnon now up to the top 3. A little separation already back here. So the single file restart really separated this group out. Take a look back through the field. You can see just how strung out they are. They're already strung out all the way down the back straightaway. But it is the 11 of Alex Romero to the front, 91 and the 01 right there behind him. Larson looking really strong here tonight. I know we got some fans out there in the YouTube chat for the 01. 91 looks to the bottom of the 11. 11's going to block that off as they head on the turn number 1. And look at the outside. Here comes the 79 of Josh Gagnon. He's got J.D. Biddle trying to give him a push up on the outside, trying to get organized once again. Biddle has just really committed to the outside of that racetrack. He has been up there for about the last 40 or 50 laps now at this point. But we've got 68 laps completed. Romero, Slagan, Larson, and Biddle gets hung out there all by himself. Let's see if he can make a run. He actually is running pretty well. And 91 sees him coming. 91 jumps up the outside of the racetrack. He is trying to get his way around the 11 of Romero for the lead. We're side by side for the lead, almost 3 wide. Larson looks to the inside down the back straightaway. He thinks the better, it tucks back in behind. But here comes the 96 of J.D. Biddle. He has got the 91 on his front bumper, trying to get to the front. Raymond right there behind him in the 17. Tamer in the 81, that 4th truck in the outside line. It is Slagan now to the front. One more time. He led a lot of this race earlier, but Romero fighting back on the bottom in the 11. We've got about 16 cars in this lead draft, and they're side by side all the way back. 8 trucks side by side, 16 deep. Larson needs to be a little patient right here. I can see him kind of taking a look to the inside, taking a look to the middle. I think he just needs to ride along right here behind the 11. And it's going to be the 91 of Slagan. Going to lead across the stripe here. But it's Romero down there on the bottom fighting back. He's got the 01 giving him a shove. We're a little bit are teamed up here. And, oh, Biddle's going to get loose. Biddle's going to go for a ride. Going to collect the 81 of Tamer. Thornton involved again. The 96 going around. Modric involved in the 71. He is going to hit the inside wall. I looked down for a second. When I looked up, the 96 was going around in heavy damage. I don't know if he can even get that truck back to the pit. You can see the 81 of Tamer spun around right there. But it looked like it started right around the 96 truck of Biddle, so we can see what happened here. So Biddle right there, right behind the 91 of Slagan. He's got Raymond behind him, Larson on the bottom of the racetrack. Let's see what happens here. So Biddle takes a look to the... Oh, well, I'm not sure what that was. Was that a little net code or... Unfortunately, Boomershine gets involved right there. Gets into the side of the 96. We can see the 56 of Trader down on the bottom of the racetrack. The 04 involved. The 16 once again misses that. So we're going to take a look here from the 7. Let's see what we can see here. So it's a 7 of Raymond closing up on the back of Biddle. I don't think he makes any contact, or does he here? So from this angle, he doesn't look like he's pushing. I'm not quite sure. Was that maybe a little net code? I don't really know if the 7 really got in the back of him from that angle. Let's take a look here and see if we can see one more time from maybe a rear camera here somewhere. See what we can find. All right, we'll take a look from the rear view of there we go. So take a look back here to Biddle. See if we see the back of the truck kind of lift up or anything. Maybe that's not going to be quite a good of a view. Maybe we can get a better shot from the chopper cam. Let's just rewind that just a little bit. We're coming off the corner. I don't know, it just looked like Biddle just got a little bit loose there somehow from that angle, but you can just see the melee ensue. The 71 down there, like we said, the 79 at Gagnon involved. He's been leading this race a little bit earlier. All right, we'll get back to live time. It's the 91 of Slagan up front, so unfortunate there for J.D. Biddle. I'd like to talk to J.D. after the race or something and see if we can see what happened there, because it just didn't look like there was any contact. But as we see sometimes here on iRacing, we see what we call net code. And sometimes what we see isn't really what other drivers see out there sometimes. But it just looked like he come off a 2 right there in the back of the truck, just kind of came around on him. All right, so we are way past halfway in this race. 72 laps down. We're coming across the line. 73 down now. 27 left to go. It is Landon Slagan, Everett Larson, Joshua Raymond, Brady Zeller. Got to give a big shout out to the number 18 of Zeller. He's carrying. Let's see if we can find a good shot here. You can see Zeller carrying the DRSN logos for us out there. So thank you, Brady. Really appreciate it, buddy. And he has got himself up into the top 5. As a matter of fact, he's running 4th right now. Started back in 11th. So Brady carrying the colors for us, running in 4th right now. Right behind him is the 95 of Sluter, the 04 of Sparks, also with a good run here. Our big mover of the race right now is back here in the 55. The Napa sponsor, number 55, Ian Menace, the Mooselander Racing, number 55. He has moved up 22 spots from 30th all the way up to 8th, actually 23. All right, appreciate you being here. I see some people in the YouTube chat. Tell us who you think's going to win this race. Slagan and Larson have been strong all day long. They've been up in the front of this pack. But if it's the first time here with us, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Second week here for the Western Racing League Viking Construction Group Truck Series. We're going to come back next week at Daytona Road Course. But it's going to be Landon Slagan and Everett Larson bringing us to the stripe here one more time after our 5th caution flag. And we are green one more time. Landon Slagan, good start down on the bottom, and Larson's right there with him. Is Larson going to be able to stay on the outside, or is he going to tuck in behind him? I think Larson's going to tuck behind him. I know he's going to stay to that right rear quarter as they head through 1 and 2. Larson wants to get to the front. Neither truck with really a lot of help behind, but here comes the 7 of Raymond now up on the back of Slagan with a little bit of a push. I think that's going to be just enough to keep the 91 in front, out in front of the 01 of Larson, but here comes Zeller now on the outside behind Larson. We're 2x2 for 2nd and 3rd. Slagan kind of out there in front. Looks like we're about 3 wide back here in the middle. We're going to keep an eye on this right here. We take a look at the 28 truck of Price down on the bottom of the racetrack. He has got Steinbach on the outside, and the 29 right there of Schmitz, and the 12 of Fetchner right there. All right, take a look back up at the front of the pack. It is Slagan. Slagan, Raymond, Sluter, and Brewer now. The 40 of Brewer, involved in a couple incidences earlier. He has found his way up to the front. When we were, Larson with a big mistake. He's able to find a hole back there, gets back down into about the 5th spot, actually back in 6th. But here comes the 22 of Steinbach on his outside. But we were talking about Tyler Brewer. Take a look at Tyler in the number 40 Red Bull sponsored Brewer Motorsports. He is coming to the front here. Early on in this race, he left the lead. He lost the lead draft, fell way back, basically in about 34th spot there for a while. He is now all the way up to 4th. So Tyler Brewer with a really good run here late in this race. Only 24 laps left to go. 23 to go now as they come across the stripe. Vortex Sim Racer number 91 is Landon Slagan now out in front. Josh Raymond, David Sluter, Tyler Brewer, Daniel Sparks also with a good run in the 04. Then it's Larson in the 01. We're side by side here with Larson and Fetchner. Fetchner gets a little bit of a push from Gagnon right there behind him. Gets a little bit loose. 79 of Gagnon trying to push forward. Keep an eye on that. It looks like Fetchner's a little bit loose already. He is not handling that push from Gagnon very well. It's the 11 of Romero. Oh, 79 loose right there, just like we saw Biddle. So here comes Gagnon up behind the 12. Take a look. We'll jump on board here with the 79. Are you lapping me? I like that on the back of the spoiler right there. Oh, Gagnon loose one more time. You saw that truck wiggle off the corner through the tri-oval area, actually. He is trying to get a Brewer dancing all over the racetrack. Everybody just fighting for control of these trucks right now with about 21 laps to go. Fetchner now goes a little bit to the outside. Gagnon thought about going to the middle, but slides back behind him. The 11 of Romero also there on the outside. Let's see if somebody... I'm watching Sluter. Watch Sluter, see if he sees that outside lane come, to see if he jumps up in front of him. But it is still the 91 out in front. A good run from the outside. The bottom kind of gets slowed up there for some reason. Brewer is, I think the 40 car Brewer just is on the verge of losing that car every time we come through the tri-oval. We'll keep an eye on the number 40 right here. He's made a big charge to the front of this pack, and here comes Fetchner on the outside. That is a pretty good, one of the best organizations we've seen from that outside line, because here comes the 79 of Gagnon pushing Fetchner to the front. The bottom is losing some organization here. But Slagan sees him coming, jumps up to block up that outside run, but here comes Fetchner. We're going to take a look to the inside. Slagan blocked off that run, but Fetchner dives right to the bottom, and we've got another new leader here, the number 12 of Fetchner, back of the pack's Motorsports, not living up to his name. He is now at the front of the pack. Fetchner, Slagan now, Raymond in the third spot. Up on the outside is Josh Gagnon. Going to come across the line, officially going to lead a lap here for the 12 car. Trevor Fetchner now all the way up to the front after started back in 17th, up 16 spots. Back of the pack Motorsports leading this race here at Echo Park. 18 laps left to go. Slagan started on the pole this race. He's been up front all day long, up in the top 5. And he is trying to help push that 12 car. The Vortex Sim team, number 91 is Slagan. And look to the inside. He's got to look to the inside of Fetchner as they come through the trial section. He's going to have to go back to the outside now. Oh, a little bit of contact right there. The 91 gets a little bit loose. And here we're going to go around one more time. It's going to be the 79. Did he save that? Somehow Gagnon's, I'm not sure how Gagnon saved that right there. But Romero's going to be involved. I see Boomershine involved again. Nixon involved. The 22 of Steinbach involved in this one. It looks like it took a bunch of Biddle also involved one more time. The 55 of Menace, who had made his way all the way up to the front of the pack. Oh, Steinbach gets rolling, and I don't think Boomershine saw him coming. So we'll take a look at that on lap 84 here. It looks like it started with... So we're here with Romero. He's got the 79 right there in front of him. Of Gagnon. Gagnon gets a little bit loose, chases the truck up the racetrack. The 11 gets into his right rear quarter. He comes down and hits Sluter. Sluter saved the 79 from spinning right there. And unfortunately, as Romero's coming back up the racetrack, he catches the 38 of Nixon. Big one right here. The 55 involved. Steinbach involved. You see the 00 of Bolton involved as well again. All right, we'll take a look one more time, a little bit different angle here. All right, so you can see the 79 is already struggling getting in the corner here. It gets through the center of the corner. The 91 comes down and makes some contact with the 12. I think the 79 kind of checks up a little contact with the 11. 79 gets sideways, hits the side of the 95. Then it is just all hell breaking loose from there. Oh, was that Larson involved? Did I check on the wrong car? The 01 of Larson involved. I got to go back and look at that again because I clicked on the wrong car. All right, one more time here. All right, we're going to keep an eye. We're going to ride along with Everett Larson in this one. So Everett had horrible luck last week at Daytona. Has been running really good here tonight, but unfortunate he gets involved in this one. You can see him. You can see the 79 get loose up there in front of him. Gets collected by the 11. And the 01's just going to come into this with nowhere to go. And he just hits the 29 in the door. The 22 involved. Boomershine involved. The 55 comes in. The 28 piles in. 00 piles in. It looks like the 2 of Y's also in there. So unfortunate for Everett Larson. It looked like he was going to have a better run this week. But he gets involved in our 6th caution flag here on lap number 84. I gotta take a little breath after that one. Thanks for being here. My name's Chris Murphy with DRSN, bringing you the Week 2 coverage of the Viking Construction Group Truck Series for Western Racing League. And the number 12 of Trevor Fetchner has found his way to the front. Josh Raymond now in second. Slagan and Josh Gagnon. Let's see, we got time here for one more. I'm going to watch the in-car view of Josh Gagnon here. We're going to just kind of look from the roll bar here and just see how sideways this truck gets. Doing 79, doing a little bit of drifting here at Echo Park, and he is completely sideways. If the 95 is not down there for him to hit, he loses that truck. So Gagnon, I saw it earlier and I said it was a great save, but to be honest with you, I think it was just a lot of luck. So, but you know what? In racing, you take all the luck you can get, and Gagnon's still out there to try to win this race. So the 79 is going to restart here in 5th. He's got the 40 of Brewer up on the outside. So I think we do have 3 green-white checkers if we need them. We've got, 14 laps left to go. We have 13 laps left to go when we come across the line. Take a quick look at our lap leaders here real fast. So we've had 5 different leaders. Gagnon leading 39, Slagan 31. Alex Romero's led 8 laps. Fechner's led 5. Everett Larson did lead 4. But unfortunate for Larson that he finds his way himself way back here in 21st. It's not over yet. Doesn't look like he took a lot of damage right there. So we'll see if he can get a little bit of luck here and find his way back to the front. As we roll through 3 and 4, going to come back green one more time for the 7th time of the night under caution here for the 6th time here, and we're going to go green with about 13 to go. It's Fechner, Raymond, Slagan, Sluter, Gagnon right now, and Fechner with a huge jump. Raymond just did not get going right there. Let's see if that piled up his group behind him a little bit. It looks like everybody's going to get away clean, but Raymond with a horrible start fell back right there, and he piled up the 95 of Sluter. Gagnon able to get to the bottom of the racetrack. He's got the 40 of Brewer right to them, but the 12 and the 91 clear those fields. You can see some damage on the left front of the 7, so maybe that hurt him a little bit. Maybe he's got a little more damage than it looks, but just not able to get a good start right there, and he is just falling backwards now. But out in front, it is the 12 of Trevor Fechner. Slagan now to the outside, takes a look to the outside. Gagnon there in 3rd, Brewer in 4th. The 79, who just about piled it up on that last caution flag, still has a chance to win this race. He's now in 3rd. Keep an eye on that 04 truck. They're kind of dancing around back there. Sparks, and it looks like the 18 is Zeller. Sluter right there as well. I'm off of turn number 4, going to come across the line. 11 laps left to go here at Echo Park. Let's see if we can run the rest of this race under green. Watching the 40 of Brewer now gets around Gagnon on the outside. Here comes Sparks as well. It looks like Gagnon might have had a little bit of trouble as he is now falling back. He's falling back a couple of spots here. Zeller now on his outside. So maybe Gagnon took a little bit more damage to that left front hit that he hit when he got into Sluter as he went around right there, because he is now seems to be struggling for pace as he's now falling back. There comes 18 to Zeller to his outside. All right, 10 laps left to go. It is Fechner, Slagan, Brewer. The 91 of Slagan's got a good run. I thought he might take a look to the outside, but no, he's going to jump up here and give him a push. Brewer in the 3rd spot now. Sparks in 4th. Fechner does not look comfortable getting pushed all night long, and he's going to get moved up the race. He's going to move up a little bit. That's going to let Slagan get behind the bottom. Brewer looks to the outside. He hits the outside wall, gets down into the 12 car, and we are crashing one more time. Here comes the 44 pound, and the 16 is going to hit the 40 in the door. And we are under caution for the 7th time here at Echo Park. Does it look like the 12 just kind of moved up the racetrack? I think Brewer was going to take a look to the outside, but unfortunate there for Fechner in the 12. He's still sitting against the wall. Heavy damage to the 12. We'll take a look here real quick. All right, so we're gonna watch here. We've got you can see Slagan on the bottom of the racetrack gets a look to the inside of the 12. That's going to force a 12 car up into the middle. Brewer comes along the outside. He's got a good run on the outside. Catches that outside wall, comes down off the wall, and by that visible moment right there was a little gap between the cars, but obviously they made contact. And that was all, it looked like, from Brewer hitting the outside wall hard. The 44 of Wedding King involved again. So we will take a look here, see if we can find ourselves a good camera angle. How about we do a chopper cam angle here with, and we'll take a look at the 40 of Brewer here. So you can see Brewer sneaking around to the outside, slagging to the bottom. And what we're going to see here, we're going to see the 40 car hit the outside wall, comes down off the wall, catches the 12. Definitely a little bit of net code there. There was a little bit of visible gap in between him. Wedding King comes piling into the back of the 40 here. And the 16 thinks he's got a spot to go. He doesn't. He hits the 40 as well. So unfortunate there for the 12 of Fetchner and the 40 of Brewer both had really good runs going, but that is going to come to an end here. And that is going to put Landon Slagan back out front. 7 laps left to go right now at this point. And look right there in the second spot. It is the 04 of Daniel Sparks. Started back in 20th, now up to, started in 18th, now up to second, up 16 spots in this race. Let's take a look at our biggest gainers here. It's actually Joshua Raymond still up 23 spots. Joshua had a good chance on the outside in that last restart, but kind of fell back. So Michael Champlin up in the 11th spot, started back in 31st, and it's Ian Menace, Declan Beatty, Daniel Sparks, our biggest movers of the race so far. All right, few sponsors. The names there: Corbin Matthews, country singer. If you like some good country music, check out Corbin on all these streaming services. Viking Construction Group out of Everett, Washington. If you're up in the Northwest looking for some construction work, reach out to Viking Construction Group. Scotty Larson. Scotty's still in this race. Scotty is still in this race here in the number 13, the Viking Construction Group number 13. Running back in 14th spot right now. Nexus Designs. If you need a really good paint job, you're looking for something on just about any vehicle you have here in iRacing, find Nexus Designs on their Instagram. And then our last sponsor, if the graphic pops up, is Scott's Nuts. If you like some fantastic flavored pistachios, check out my buddy Scott at scottsnuts.com. Nuts is spelled with a Z, by the way. And also we picked up another sponsor. You can see him underneath the scoring tower admin box. We're not really a sponsor, but affiliate. We affiliated with Admin Box. Happy to have them on board. If you're, check out adminbox.com. If you're looking for some equipment, use the discount code DRSN-box, BOXX, for a 10% discount. All right, we're going to go back to green here one more time. Take a little rundown here through our top 10. It is Landon Slagan, Daniel Sparks, Josh Gagnon, Brady Zeller in the 4th spot, David Sluter in the number 95 up to 5th, Joshua Raymond, Rick Modric, Joshua Smits, Declan Beatty, and Ryan Thompson. Back here in the number 10 there on the outside. We haven't really mentioned Ryan most of the day, but he's got himself up into the top 10 right now. We're going to go green with 5 to go. Going to see if we can finish this race under green, as we've had 7 caution flags so far. Slagan, Sparks, Gagnon. That's 79. He's got his. I think he's used up all 9 lives. I don't think he has any lives left. Let's see what he can do here with it. The 04 kind of hanging back on the outside. And the 91 with a huge jump. The 04 kind of sleeping up there. Slagan with a jump on the outside. He's got Gagnon right there behind him. 2 of our race leaders here tonight. David Sluter in the 95 up to 3rd now. Watch Zeller in the 18. He finds a gap down on the bottom of the racetrack. He gets up to 5th. He's behind the 71 of Modric. Modric with a really good run now up to 4th. It's Slagan, Gagnon, Sluter, Modric, Zeller. And behind them is Raymond and Beatty. Beatty's had a good truck all night long, but just got involved in a couple of incidents here. Look at the run from that 29 of Joshua Smith now. He looks to the outside. Oh, that's going to be the 7 of Raymond down off the bottom of the racetrack. Is Raymond going to stay down there? No, he's going to come back up across the racetrack. Joshua going to make a bad situation worse. He got kind of pushed down to the bottom of the racetrack. I'm not sure what happened there, but Then he comes flying back up on the racetrack, collects another truck. I think it was the Brewer in the 40 involved again. But we're going to stay green. We'll go back and see if we can find out what happened there here in a second. Get a replay of that towards the end of this race. But right now, it is Landon Slagan, Josh Gagnon, David Sluter, Rick Modric. We got 3 laps left to go. We're going to come across the line with 2 to go. Kind of single filed out here up in the front. It's back here, looking back here to the number 10. 29 going to get up into the outside wall. Kind of just drove up there and smelled Smits to the outside wall. And we're going to crash here. Oh, I thought I saw Modric and Beatty getting into it, but Beatty's going to get a run down on the bottom. He's up to 5th. We're side by side with Beatty and the 71 there for that 5th spot. But back up front, it is Landon Slagan, Josh Gagnon, David Sluter, your top 3. Down the back straightaway. Next time across the stripe is going to be 1 to go. Can we make it to the white flag? Slagna goes up to block off the run from Gagnon. Sluter's going to look to the bottom. We're going to come off the corner, and then Sluter's going to get into the left rear quarter of Slagan. I think Slagan was a little aggressive on his blocks right there at that point, unfortunately, and that caused the issue. Sluter looked to take a look to the inside, and we under caution? No, we're green flag still. We are still green. It's 3 wide for the lead with Gagnon, Smits, Zeller right there in the middle. This is 2. I thought we were going to caution flag, but Gagnon going to take the lead because they're going to come off of turn number 4, come across the stripe. It's Modric on the outside of the racetrack, and we're going to go across the line sideways. This is going to be Gagnon, Zeller, Modric, your top 3. I thought we went to caution as we were coming to the white flag, but unfortunate there for Landon Slagan, who led a lot of this race. I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can find a replay of that. It didn't mark it for me anywhere, but we'll see if we can find out what happened there. But Josh Gagnon used up all 9 lives he had here today at Echo Park, as he was completely sideways at one point. About 10 laps left to go. Gonna come home here with a win. Brady Zeller, Rick Modric, gonna be your top 3. I'm gonna go back and see if I can see what happened there to Slagan as we were coming to the white flag. So we can see Slagan goes up to block Gagnon, goes back down to the bottom of the racetrack to block off the 95. The 95's got to run. Kind of a late block right there from Slagnan. At the same time, Sluter is coming. We're going to take a look at that one more time. See if I can find like the roof cam of Sluter, as we see that here real quick. So you can see Sluter move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Slagan down to the bottom to block. You know, Slagan's really there at that point. But we're racing for the lead, coming to the white flag. We're going to go back and see the finish of this race too. I really thought that we had gone to caution. So after Slagan gets spun around here, this is the fight here on the last lap. It's Gagnon on the bottom, the 29 of Smits there in the middle of the racetrack. Modric to the outside, Zeller. We're 3 wide down the back straightaway into turn number 3 for the lead. Slagan, Smits. So Slagan slides up the racetrack, kind of gets into the side of Smits, slows him up into Modric a little bit. Here comes Zeller now into the fight. He's trying to push the 79. Smits is going to get stuck there in the middle of the racetrack with Thompson leaving him behind, so he's going to fall back here. Gagnon's going to come across the stripe. Zeller takes a look to the outside, but just not enough room right there. Gagnon goes to block it off, and he is going to take the win. And it's going to be Zeller coming home in second. And that is going to be our finish here at Echo Park. A fantastic race. I'm sure a couple drivers would probably argue with me of how great that was. But unfortunate events there for a few drivers. Slagan led a lot of that race, and unfortunately is going to come home way back in 15th. We'll take a look here at our, need to get in, see who's waiting to get into our interview booth. I see we got Josh Gagnon waiting, so we're going to pull Josh up here into the booth. All right, let's see here. Josh, are you with me, buddy? All right. Hang on just 2 seconds. Let me get your audio going here. All right, let's try one more time. Are you there?
What's up, Chris?
All
How are
right, I
you?
got you, man. All right, Josh. All right. So let's talk about this race at Echo Park, buddy.
Woo!
That was kind of crazy. You know, you crashed. I think you crashed and didn't even know you crashed at one point during that race on that last. You were completely sideways, and if David Sluter was not there to save you, I think you're gone around and you're out of this race at that point.
I think I know which one you're talking about towards the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absurd. I was trying to get my teammate a good run and he got squeezed and I got involved. Thank the Lord for David because he saved my race. I didn't even expect to have a chance at winning with all the damage the truck had, but that's just kind of how things fell out and I'm very happy they fell out that way.
Yeah, we go back. I'm kind of clicking through some replays as we're talking right here. So you had kind of gone up behind Slagan. Slagan tried to move up and block you, and then he moved down to block off Sluter, and they got together, gave you the lead at that point. As you come off a four for the white flag lap, did you see him crashing down there on the inside?
I no, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I was so focused on that outside lane because I knew I just had too much gap on the field, and I'm like, I'm going to get freight trained here. And my one goal was trying to block them in the most respectful way possible without, completely dumping them. That's really all I was focused on right there in the end.
Well, then you come off of turn number two, and you're three wide down on the bottom of the racetrack. You got cut. You got Joshua Smith there in the middle. Rick Modric way up on the outside. I'm hoping your spotter was telling you you were three wide at that point.
I think he was. I don't know if I was listening though.
Well, you owe a little credit to Brady Zeller because Brady was the one pushing you down the back straightaway. I think if he hadn't have been there, I'm watching the replay of it right now, and I think if he hadn't have been there, I think the 29 might have had a run on you into three.
No, shout out to Brady. I don't know who he is, but he got me this W today, so he gets half the race earnings. There you go, said and done.
Well, it was definitely adventure. 7 caution flags. We come back next week to the road course at Daytona, and how you feel about the road course racing? It's gonna be our first one of the season.
I'm actually just a part-timer. I'm here with Brewer Motorsports every once in a blue moon, and today was a day that I had some free time, and I guess I came in and played a little bit of spoiler.
Well, are you gonna come back next Tuesday night?
If I have the time, I would love to. I love the Daytona Road Course. How can you go wrong with that track? Stock cars, nah, who knows? It's still the Daytona Road Course.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight. Good run. Was an adventure to say the least. I think I'm almost out of breath after all that. But hey, Matt,
Yeah, that
before
was a
we
lot of
let you
fun.
go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Silver State Relief. I want to give a shout out to Tyler Brewer and David, the other league admins, for putting on the race. Shout out to you, Chris, for the amazing broadcast. And then most importantly, shout out to my wife. Heck yeah.
All right, buddy. We'll hopefully we'll see you. Come back next week. Put on a show at Daytona. If not, we'll see you somewhere down the road.
Yeah, we'll give it our best. Thanks, Chris.
All right, you bet. All right, we are gonna see if we can get second place runner Brady Zeller. Are you there, buddy?
I am here, Chris.
You found your way up to the front of this race. You said you were going to be there, and you were. What? So tell me a little bit about your adventures of the evening.
They they were a little exciting. At first, I slid it from 11th all the way back 24th, far all the way back, avoided all the wrecks somehow, squeezed through, and I somehow got in the top 10.
Well, you had a really good shot right there. Josh gave you a little bit of credit for helping him push him down the back straightaway to the win right there, and that's exactly what you did. Gave him some help, but you had a shot at the end, just not enough room to try to make the pass. Is there anything you could have done different off of four? You think?
Nah, everything went according to plan. I was pushing him, trying to get him at least tight to go up the track so I could squeeze underneath him and the other guys, but I'm happy he won. It was a close finish, and I'm happy.
Well, you carried the DRSN logo proud tonight, buddy. Comes home with a second place finish, but we come back next week to the road course at Daytona. What's your feelings on that? How you doing with the road course racing?
I'm feeling pretty good. I've been practicing a lot. I feel confident at road courses. I finish high, I feel like. But yeah, I'm excited for next week. I think we're gonna be even stronger. Maybe number one.
Well, heck of a good run tonight, man. Thank you for carrying the logos on the truck for us. It looks really good out there. Nice job on the paint job. But before we let you go, is there anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
You and my teammate Larson for sticking with me the whole time. Everett Larson, he's a great guy. He stuck with me the whole race.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck for the rest of the weekend, whatever you do, and we'll see you next Tuesday night.
See you next Tuesday night.
All right, we're gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can steal Rick Modric. Let's see. He's down there. Rick, are you there, buddy?
I am here.
Rick Modric comes home third tonight in the number 71. All right. Let's see. I got a little chart up here that tells me your position. You were all the way down to about 20th at one point. Made your way back up to the front. Just a nice steady climb. What was the trick there tonight for you?
No, just trying to remain patient and trying to get to that bottom was kind of key. I slipped back to 20th place there. I got involved in a wreck and pulled in, had my fast repair unchecked, and they didn't fix anything on the car. So just kept her running. I was hoping that damage wasn't too bad, and apparently it wasn't.
Well, you had a chance there at the end. You found yourself, I've been in those positions myself too. You're up there on the outside. You can see the finish line. Is there anything you could have done just a little bit different, maybe to get out in front of Josh there before the line?
Well, I had a good run in 1 and 2, and Josh threw a pretty good block on me, and there's no way I was going to cause a wreck there. So I just kind of lifted a little bit just to keep her straight. Tried running it to the line. I didn't have much help there at the end, though.
Yeah, everybody was kind of going for it all on their own right there. The only help, Josh had a little bit of help from the 18. But hey, man, we've started off the season with 2 super speedways. We come to the road course next week at Daytona. Myself, if I was out there, I would be horrible at the road course. So how do you feel?
Oh, I'm pretty confident at the road courses. I got a lot of experience at it. It's just a matter of keeping it clean and hitting your marks, not getting too racy out there with them.
Well, great run tonight, Rick. You got yourself a podium here today at Echo Park. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd love to give a shout out to my teammates, Brandon Cowell and Michael Champlin. If it wasn't for those guys, I don't think I'd be half the racer I am.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck with everything else for the weekend, and we will see you next Tuesday night.
Yeah, thanks for all you do. Great broadcasts, and thanks to the admins of this league to do the best they can. I understand the fast repair was kind of a deal tonight, but we'll get through it.
All right, man. I appreciate the feedback, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Rick Modric there, third place finisher here tonight. We're taking a look at the finish one more time. Gagnon with a great run there. Zeller looks to the bottom of the racetrack as they come across the line. We're 3 wide for third, with Beatty, Smits, and Thompson actually gets himself up there into the 6th spot. So I made the mistake last week and we checked out before I got the results. So we're going to pull the results here for us tonight. So let me see here. Of course, I always do that. I'm always on the qualifying first. We'll go to the race results there. So Josh Gagnon coming home first after starting in 7th. Brady Zeller in the 2nd spot. Rick Modric, Declan Beatty with a great run. Started 26 all the way up to 4th. Joshua Smits carrying the torch for the Spare Part Gaming. Going to come home in the 5th spot. Ryan Thompson, Everett Larson. Everett with a good recovery. Had a good truck all night long. Ran up front. Ended up getting involved in a late race caution. Fell all the way back to 7th. Daniel Sparks going to come home in 8th. Joshua Raymond, Nick Trader going to round out the top 10. It's Quentin Steinbach, David Sluter, Michael Sparks. Jason Tamer, last week's winner, Daytona, comes home in 14th. Linus Slagan, Randy Wood, Tyler Brewer, Ian Menace, Scotty Larson, Viking Construction Group number 13 in the 19th spot. Victor Keith going to come home in back there in 20th. And then it's Michael Champlain, and I probably said that wrong. Tim Price, JD Biddle. JD also had a good run, unfortunate, involved in a couple of crashes there at the end. Trevor Fetchner, also with a good run at the front, got involved with Tyler Brewer, Dan Wedeking, Stephen Bolton, Kyle Schmitz, Jacob Thornton, Nathan Nixon, Paul Boomershine, all the way back in 30th. So Paul's strategy of starting in the back didn't work out for him tonight. Alex Romero also led a couple of laps. Joshua White, Brandon Callan, Ryan McClung, who only completed 15 laps of this race, way back in 34th. So that is going to do it for us here tonight at Echo Park. We're going to take a look at that finish just one more time, because it was just a great finish there. We're going to go back to the white flag lap here and let it roll around as we close out the show. But appreciate y'all being here with us at DRSN. we will be back. Let's see. Our next show is going to be tomorrow, Thursday night. Thursday night, we will be back. Going to cover the Variety Pack Racing recruitment race for their VPR 500, which is run on Saturday. They're going to start that race on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern, which is a little early for me. I'm not going to get home from work by then because I'm on the West Coast. So we're going to jump in as soon as we can when we get home that night. So we're going to probably, it's only a 25-lap race, but hopefully we can catch at least part of it. If not, we will be here for the wheel spin. So what they're doing is for that Variety Pack 500, you're able to buy yourself a spot on the wheel, and you can, I think sign-ups closed earlier. So but what they're doing is there'll be a wheel spin, and you'll be able to give yourself a chance, guarantee yourself a chance into the 500 if you can be one of the 2 drivers that get lucky enough to spin. That's just a great run right here between these 4 trucks up front here. I'm watching this again. But we're going to come back Saturday morning with the Variety Pack Racing VPR 500 at 10 o'clock Eastern Saturday morning for the first of 2 duels. We'll run the first one at 10. The second duel will kick off at 12. 43 cars in each one of those duels. The top 20, I believe it's going to be the top 23, are going to make it out of the top 20. Actually, then we're going to include the drivers with the wheel spin, so we're going to see how that plays out. But there's supposed to be a 46-car field for the 500 on Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock Eastern. So don't miss that. It's going to be a fun race. If you weren't able to get signed into that race, signups are closed. But check out DRSN. Really appreciate y'all being here with us tonight for the Viking Construction Group Western Racing League Truck Series. We will be back again next Tuesday night with the Western Racing League covering the Daytona Road Course. So thank you for being here, and until next time, we'll see you then.